Yo, 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 what is going on, my beautiful brothers and sisters, fellow radiators of love? My name is Jamal Pope, aka J Phoenix, and this is going to be your daily tarot and astrology reading for Monday, September 2nd of 2024, the new moon in Virgo. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hopefully you guys are having a wonderful Labor Day weekend. And happy birthday to my dad. It's his birthday today. So, don't know if you're going to watch this. I know sometimes you watch my videos, but happy birthday. So, I'll see you later. In any event, let's go ahead and hop into today's video, the cards, the transits, so we can see how you can be better prepared to navigate these wild and life-changing times, I guess you could say. We have a new moon in Virgo here at 11 degrees. Let's see what the cards have to say. I have the Five of Cups in reverse. Five of Cups in reverse. This is the crying over spilled milk card. It's the way I see it. With it being in reverse, we really don't have anything that we need to be crying over. That's really the way that it comes across. We all take losses from time to time, right? We all have losses. We all suffer, we all have disappointments and things of that nature. This Five of Cups in reverse is saying that, there's so many more things to be grateful for and to realize it's more important. The thing about this card is that it always does show like three of the cups have spilt over, but there's always two behind them, and he can't see them, but they're the ones that are, upright and haven't spilt over. So yeah, maybe he did lose the three and he's only left with two out of the fives, but at least he still has something. With it being in reverse, it's like we have even more than we realize. Like we have even more. Like we might have taken a loss somewhere, but we already have so much more than we possibly realize. So we also have that followed by the Two of Cups. It's interesting too. I feel like in reverse, it's almost like only two of the cups fell over and three of the cups are actually upright. Well, we find the Two of Cups right here in the Two of Cups. So this comes down to, emotionally connecting with another person or individual, or being able to see eye to eye with somebody. This is a nice card. This is, like I said, it's about finding that connection, whether it's to yourself or to like another person. I do feel like it's probably more on the relationship side of things, especially now that we have Venus that's here in its home sign of Libra. But, I feel like, just the new moon itself with the Virgo energy, yeah, this is, we can establish new habits during this time. Virgo is about the day-to-day reality. It's about service. It's about habits. It's about cleanliness, how we keep things clean and organized in our life too. So I feel like if you're feeling some disconnects emotionally and stuff like that, maybe there's something that needs to be kind of worked out Virgo wise. Maybe there's some weird little kinks that need to be worked out, you know what I'm saying? Or maybe you just need to kind of maybe look at things from a fresh perspective. That can be a part of it too. I'll draw one more card just to kind of get an idea. Knight of Cups. We're getting all cups here. But the Knight of Cups is talking about the Holy Grail card. It's about going for something and pursuing something that it's a little bit different from the Knight of Wands, but they're similar as in like they're pursuing something that they're passionate about. But with it being cups, it's like it does invoke an emotional response, and it does have, perhaps a deeper meaning. I say that Knight of Wands doesn't have a deeper meaning, but the Knight of Cups definitely can have a deeper meaning. Knight of Wands could just be like an individual saying like, oh, I want to, dumb examples, like, oh, I want to be an athlete just because it looks cool. Knight of Cups to be like, oh, I want to be an athlete because my father was an athlete, my grandfather was an athlete. Like it kind of takes on a little bit more of like a different like level. It's almost like, yeah, it can become like familial, it become like generational, it can become like, oh, you're wanting to take up the legacy of something. So this Knight of Cups kind of comes in here with this energy, and I'm feeling like if you are feeling a bit down at the dumps with the Five of Cups, maybe check what it is that, like, what is your holy grail? What is like your thing that you pursue with like your full heart? What is the thing that does invoke that emotional response from you? Does it evoke an emotional response from you? I think some people, maybe they're wandering this earth and they're feeling purposeless, or they're trying to find some type of purpose or something to kind of hold on to. And, that could be part of the issue. And maybe they don't necessarily realize that there's like a piece that's missing here. Maybe we find that piece via the Two of Cups. So it could be another person that kind of, we come in contact with, that maybe opens our eyes or opens our perspective a little bit, to provide sort of like that missing piece, or maybe they say something. But also, because this is all cups, this is probably more of like a psychic connection. So this is probably going to be someone that's you're a little bit more close to. So like, a really good friend, like a family member, a lover, a spouse, maybe even an animal, because this is Virgo energy and this could be pets, So it's interesting how that works out. Now, if we look at just the astrology of the day and stuff, we will see as the day starts off that moon has freshly moved into Virgo, and we will see that new moon by, the evening time. So actually will be happening in the evening time here at 11 degrees of Virgo, right? Now what's also interesting about this is that Mars is in square to Neptune all day, and quincunxing Pluto as well. So Mars being at the end of Gemini, this also, of course, can be speaking to, Mars is about how we take action in our lives, how we even initiate things. And with it being in Gemini, this can definitely be dealing with other people, or communication, or general, or just our local neighborhood, our local environment. And the square over to Neptune and Pisces, whew. Yeah, already Neptune and Pisces is very confounding and weird. It's this Wizard of Oz kind of energy. And Mars Gemini is very, very impatient and wants answers, and it just wants it now. That's the thing about Mars Gemini. It's like, I want it now. And it's about to cool off once it gets into Cancer. That's the thing about it. So if you are kind of going into this energy and you're a bit angsty, because Mars and Gemini squaring Neptune can be very angsty. It can make you very anxious because like you're wanting something, or you're preparing for something, or like you could be projecting something into the future and projecting like an ideal or like a desire or a want, and you want it to come in that immediate moment and stuff like that. Especially now that Mercury, the ruler of Gemini, is moving forward in Leo. Yeah, I think we all like want things to happen now. We all want answers now. We don't want to have to wait around anymore. Sorry to say, we have a lot of retrograde planets now. Uranus is now retrograde. We have Chiron, Neptune, Saturn. Pluto is back in the Capricorn. The energy is going to slow down a little bit. The energy is actually going to slow down a bit. So things aren't going to happen at the rapid pace that we want them to. So I think this is one of those times where we have to just kind of slow down, smell the roses, recalibrate. And it's actually a good thing. That way we can see where we're actually going and come up with a better game plan on how to move through it, So I think, with a day like today, it's important to remember the things in your life that are working out. Remember your blessings. That's what the whole Five of Cups reverse is saying. Remember to connect with people, not just on the surface. I said in my weekly to try not to be on social media too much and actually like talk to people in person. That's Two of Cups, And then, like I said, find something that's worth going for or fighting for. The Knights are all about action, and this is the Cups, so it's about water. It's about emotions. It's about the intuitive. So, what are you intuitively drawn to act on? What is your gut telling you to act on, and to kind of go from that place? It invokes like a deeper response. It invokes some. It's not as simple as like, oh, I like that, let's do it. It's more like I like that because it makes me feel this particular way. It makes me feel joy. It makes me feel happy, or it reminds me of this thing or this person, and I find that to be valuable. So then I want to go for that thing. If that makes any sense, right? So yeah, I think this could be an inspiring time, an inspiring day, but it can be frustrating if you are wanting things to happen fast, if you want all the answers, and you're unable to kind of slow things down, because even with Virgo is mutable, right? But it is Earth, so it is the slowest moving. It's the slowest of the mutable signs. So in Virgo season, we learn patience because it's right before the harvest, right? And it's like we want to harvest the food and we want to eat the food and stuff like that, but we have to be patient because if we pick the food too fast, you know, it's not going to be ripe. It's, you know, the flavor is going to be a little bit off, so we have to wait a little bit. We have to be patient, and that's what Virgo season teaches us. So this new moon in Virgo at 11 degrees, it's not really making any aspects to really any planets or anything like that, but it is kind of telling us to, like, you know, 1 plus 1, 2, which is the moon, right? So I would say, so it's one of the, and this also is conjunct by Jupiter, so that's actually kind of interesting, at least from like a personal standpoint. But 11 also, it's a master number as well. So you got 1111, master number, you know, and whenever 1111 is kind of one of those numbers where it's sort of like, okay, it kind of lets you know, it's like a sign, but the sign itself, a lot of people get trapped on the sign itself instead of the meaning of the sign. And 1111 is one of those things where it's like, okay, you're on the right track, or you're on a track, or it's in that moment where a guy's just trying to speak to you, like, hey, wake up, you know, kind of pay attention. Whenever people see different synchronicities, I'm always like, pay attention to what's around you, like the smells, the song, you know, whatever you see and stuff like that. Pay attention to those things. It's not necessarily the sign itself, but a lot of times people get caught up on that. They'll get caught up on synchronicities, and they're constantly looking for 1111 in everything that they do, right? You know, so you don't want to get caught up in that either. You don't want to get caught up just trying to look for 1111 everywhere. This new moon, I guess you could say it is in opposition to Saturn. It's 5 degrees off, but, you know, it's dealing with the sun and it's also dealing with Saturn, so I feel like it's a large enough influence that we will feel that energy ultimately. So, like I said, this also is about maintaining our spiritual integrity in the face of very confusing times, in the face of wanting to have all the answers, in the face of, you know, just, I don't know, I guess the other part about this too is people lamenting over the past. I feel like that's the other part with the Five of Cups, is people lamenting over the past, people lamenting over things that have come to pass and wanting to reclaim a part of the past because they're afraid of the future. They're afraid of the new norm, or they're afraid of going forward. And I think that is one of the other issues here that you're going to see people run into, is an inability to evolve with the times, an inability to see the beauty of what is to come, and not just assuming that it's going to be all bad or negative, or they're not going to be able to find some value in it, or be able to carve out, you know, their little piece of, you know, the first word that came to my mind was heaven, but I don't know if that's really the right word. But I think it's just carve out their niche, or their little sanctuary within, you know, the time that we're moving into. And I think we all have elements of that. I'm kind of rambling right now, but I think we all have kind of elements of things in the past that we kind of want to hold on to. But we don't know what all is going to actually make it into the new world. We won't really know until Pluto finishes up in Capricorn and fully goes into Aquarius. And then we got 20 years of that. And of course, in that 20-year gap, there's going to be a lot of things that happen. Disclosures, being reintroduced to our galactic family and our galactic neighborhood, all kinds of interesting stuff. So we really are at the precipice of probably the two most important decades that we will face as a collective in like a while. Like the next 2 decades are going to be, with Pluto and Aquarius, are going to be really massive for us. So take this time to find the things that are truly important to you, and do your best to listen to your gut and not listen to all of the extra external riffraff, because that's really what it is. It's external riffraff. You can take things under consideration, but if you take things too much to heart, then especially if it's something that's low vibrational and doesn't actually agree with you, it's not within your spiritual integrity, and you can find yourself in some pretty weird places, So, I'll draw a few more cards. I got the page. I'm getting all cups here. This is crazy. I shuffled this deck very well, but I got the page of cups now, in reverse. So, page of cups. This is kind of like you don't want to throw a tantrum today. Like, if you don't get your way, don't throw a tantrum. It's not going to give you what you need and stuff like that. I mean, this is pages are youthful energy. I see them as students, and with it being cups, it's about learning the emotions. So it's like, maybe we need to learn how to communicate our emotions better, so we aren't misunderstood. That could be part of it as well. I'm gonna cut the deck and see if I actually keep getting cups, because it's interesting. Wow, it keeps happening. I got the 7 of cups. It's just all cups. I don't know what's going on. I guess it's going to be an emotional day. But we have the 7 of cups in reverse. That's actually very, very clear cut. It may seem like we have a lot of different options, but truthfully, there's only one true option to go with, And this, I think maybe the fear is that, sometimes we get paralysis by over-analyzing, because analysis is definitely Virgo energy. You don't want to get paralysis by over-analyzing the situation. Be like, well, I can do this thing, I can do that thing, I can do this thing, I can do that thing, I can do this thing. The 7 of Cups coming in is like, focus. All right, beloved, focus. Be all right. Yes, there are a lot of different options. Yes, there are a lot of different ways that this can go. Focus. What is the one that intuitively feels right to you? Not emotional from the standpoint of because like I said, the emotions are important, but we don't want to be we have to find that synthesis of emotion and logic. We don't want to be fully logical, and we don't want to be fully emotional. We got to find that synthesis of both. I'll draw one more tarot card, and then I'll get into the animal card for the new moon. I do go a little bit more in depth on the new moon in my weekly astrology horoscope, so if you haven't already checked that out, Act 2 of Foe Reawakens, I encourage you to do so, because I will be doing the next cosmic convergence very soon. It might actually come, it's either going to come sometime on Monday, so it's either going to come sometime, cause I'm going to upload this, I have this upload on Monday, so, or no, I'll upload this Sunday evening, so it's either going to come Monday, or I'm actually going to just do it as a recording instead of as a live video and put it up Tuesday night or something. So, final card. I have the Devil in reverse. The Devil in reverse. So, the way I get that amongst all of this that I'm seeing right here is, and I'm not afraid of this card. I think sometimes people will look at this card and they're afraid of it. I think this is more so look, don't fall for, I guess the super carnal desires or pleasures or manipulations, or there's a control aspect with the Devil card, so it's I think this is about, we have to relinquish control in our lives in some areas. We need to, ask ourselves, what's truly important. And we need to not try and paint everything up. I think that's the other part about this. Maybe don't paint everything as evil or demonic. I'm kind of getting that. But, this card is with all these other cards, all these cups, it's all emotion. Don't let someone come in and, pull on your emotions and tug on your heartstrings and use that to manipulate you. I think that's ultimately what it comes down to. Because this Devil card in reverse is this is someone that's going to try and emotionally manipulate you. And you don't want that to happen. You don't want someone to just come in and take you for a ride and then just dump you off, and then you're right back to square one with that 5 of Cups energy saying woe is me. You definitely don't want to be in that place. And I think a lot of this has to do with Mars squaring this Neptune at the end. It's like 29 degrees. So I think a lot of it has to do with that. So I have the owl. Seek out deeper knowledge to see through deception. I think that that's very, very, very key here. The owl is one of my spirit animals personally. It is it's a totem animal of the goddess Athena, which is I do have connection with Athena. So yeah, the owl is able to see through deception. It also flies very, very quietly, and it's interesting. It's like they really are kind of like ninjas. Like they're able to just mask their you know they're able to, like, I don't know, they're able to, like, if you ever seen like one of those videos of, like, an owl flying and how just quiet they are compared to like other birds, it's incredible. But this is about, like I said, seeking out that deeper knowledge so we can see through the deception. So I think it's like, don't just take things for the surface level here. Know that there are undercurrents here as well. There's a lot of undercurrents. We need to be able to fill into those undercurrents in our own lives and I guess in the world around us, but definitely like in our personal life, the underlying emotion that is driving us to do certain things. Tap more into that energy, and then maybe you'll be able to find, why or what your purpose is or where you're trying to go in life or your, like, anything to do with your spiritual integrity. So yeah, I think this is about just looking deeper and not being afraid to do so. I think the devil card in reverse is like almost trying to make us fear becoming more intimate with who we are, you know, as a person or as people, as a spirit and body. Or I think it's really the opposite, our bodies and our spirit. But, you know, it's about being more intimate with ourselves. And I think a lot of people are afraid of that. A lot of people are afraid of being intimate with themselves, not in a sexual way, but like in a spiritual, emotional way. A lot of people are afraid to be introspective because it starts to open up like doors and different things like that and unlock things within our subconscious and stuff. But a lot of those things are needing to come out. And honestly, they're either going to come out because, you know, we allow those things to come out in like sort of like a natural way, or they'll be forced out. But it is going to come out one way or another. And we're already seeing it in our society and stuff too. So interesting horoscope for sure. I know I rambled a good bit, but that's going to do it for your new moon in Virgo video. I trust that this message will assist you on your journey today, or maybe not. Maybe I was just a rambling mess and none of this made sense. But I'll let you guys decide that. But y'all take care, stay blessed, have a wonderful Monday, and I will see you all on the next video. Peace.